Please. Here.
Here.
Here. Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of February 20th, 2025 and February 27th, 2025.
Motion to approve those minutes.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 5, bid openings, demolition of 1717 through 1723 Summer Street. And it looks like we have one bid from JM Industrial Services out of Fair Oaks, Indiana. We have the bid proposal, the Form 96. The non-collusion affidavit, and the bid bond. And let me make sure I'm getting the right number here. Their bid is $38,000 even. Again, that's from JM Industrial Services, and their bid is $38,000 even. Everybody got that? Yes. Okay.
I recommend that we send this to inspections for recommendation and approval.
I second.
Review and recommendation.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving on to number 6, matters from other department heads or their representatives.
Just real quick on the last item, good morning to the board.
Morning.
Could I also request that bid, a copy of the bid be sent to Awana Miller Community Development? Thank you.
Okay.
Got it? It's good, it's on the record, right? Okay. Okay, anything else from department heads or their representatives? Okay, moving on to number 7, correspondence. Letter A, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $45,000 of CIB funding to be allocated for the preliminary engineering for citywide sign installation and ratifying the mayor's signature on the agreement for professional services with First Group Engineering.
Good morning to the board. Nice to see you back.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you here. The city received last year a $450,000 grant from the Indiana Department of Transportation on their special safety project call. We applied for sign replacements, and these are basically stop signs that aren't compliant with the MUTCD. The good thing about safety funding is it's 90% funded by the state and 10% funded locally. So, and this particular design contract, therefore, would only cost the city of Hammond about $4,500, but we're showing the full amount because we have to book all the receipts as they come in. The mayor, well, this contract had to be approved by last Saturday was the deadline. So we asked that the mayor, at the advice of council, that we asked the mayor if he would approve the contract and have asked that the board ratify his approval at this meeting. And prior to that, the capital improvement board met to fund the project. So we have funding and ask that you approve the agreement and the funding allocation for the project.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter B, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $1,494,585 of CIB funding to be allocated for the 2024-2-CCMG-Columbia Avenue 167th to Summer Street project and corresponding agreement for construction with Milestone Contractors, LP.
The city received a grant from the Indiana Department of Transportation for the Community Crossings Matching Grant for this segment of Columbia Avenue. This represents the full amount of the contract. So the city's contribution is only about $747,000 and change. So the CIB met a week or so ago and approved the funding allocation. So we'd ask for your approval of both the agreement and the funding allocation for this project.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Letter C, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $144,465 of CIB funding to be allocated for the purchase of 4 electric vehicle charging stations from Carbon Day EV Charging.
City received a grant from the Electric Efficiency Community Block Grant. I guess that's redundant, grant. In the amount of $133,000 to facilitate new electric vehicle charging stations. 4 of those stations, there's 3 rapid chargers and 1 level 2 charger that we're buying, so it exceeds the grant amount, which is a good thing. We hired Nice Engineering to do some survey work to plan where these installations will go. 2 will stay at City Hall, 2 will go to the Sportsplex. That is replacing the existing level 2 charging station and a new rapid charger here, and then 2 rapid chargers at the Sportsplex. That will require an installation, so we'll come back later, but this is to, commit the money that we got from the grant to pay for the boxes, right? So we'll order the boxes, and in the meantime, we're working on installation with NIPSCO and so forth.
Got it.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Letter D, correspondence received from Nees Engineering requesting the Governor's Parkway Fence Project be awarded to Hammond Fence Incorporated in the amount of $17,540, which was the lowest responsive and responsible quote.
Last week, bids were open, thankfully, for the project. Hammond Fence was the low responsive and responsible quoter. There is a green sheet going through where the Councilman Werpel, Councilman Rakos, and the mayor are splitting 3-way the complete project, but this is only for the first segment that's going in on Parish Avenue. So I don't see that you have the green sheet with you. That will be making its way through. We'd ask for your approval of this agreement.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Letter E, correspondence received from the Controller's Office requesting the approval of the renewal amusement device license for Tacadia Las Rondas. Thank you, Adrian. I got it as best I could.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Letter F, correspondence received from Councilman Rakos requesting no parking signs from here to corner for the 6800 block of New Hampshire near 169th Street submitted for approval.
We support the councilman's request. There's a church that's very active on the weekend, not just Sunday, but I believe Saturday as well, that vehicles are parking very close to the intersection of 169th, making it difficulty to see around the vehicle for cars crossing in front on 169th. So we're asking for the first 20 feet on both sides of the north approach to 169th be restricted parking.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
We need to send it to, do we need to send it somewhere?
Yeah, it'll go to the Public Works to install. And, well, you have to have, I believe you require a 7-day notification to the council
Okay.
for regulatory signs. So if it could be referred to council and then to Public Works.
Okay. Okay. Did we do it? You made a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, T.
That's okay.
Matters from board members, anything from you guys?
Yes, there's a request from St. Mary Church for their St. Patrick's Day parade. They would like some street closures on March 15th, 2025. I'd ask that we approve this as it has been approved by PD's parade committee and forward to
No.
EMA and Public Works.
Not, this one hasn't been, it's been sent, but it hasn't been approved yet. St. Mary's,
No, that's not St. Mary's, no.
St. Margaret Mary's. yeah.
no, this one's been, we sent it this
We-
morning,
yeah,
or
we
yesterday,
sent it,
excuse me.
right.
So what's this?
We're just, yeah, we're,
'Cause they already looked at it. You just want me to take all that back? We'll just forward it anyway. How about that?
Yeah, I don't know where that,
Because it's on the 15th.
yeah.
Okay, okay. So let me retract that and let's move back and forward it back to PD as they're reviewing this. Is that correct?
That's
Okay.
correct, yes.
And this is on March 15th. I'd like to point that out. Okay. Yes, this is March 15th. Yeah. Maybe I have the wrong paperwork. I don't know. It says we received St. Mary's Church.
That's, they got stapled in there.
Yeah.
It's that. It's proof.
Okay,
So that's not.
so this is not it. Okay, that's okay, Lynn. Okay, so this is for HC3's St. Patrick's Day Parade. Nothing to do on St. Margaret Mary's of the church. And that has been approved by the police parade committee, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, we have all our paperwork in order. Okay.
Okay.
I second it.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. Okay, new business, letter A, funding allocation request form requesting $45,000 of the Third District Gaming Fund to be allocated for the Festival of the Lakes contribution for 2024, submitted for approval.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter B, funding allocation request form requesting $5,000 of the Sixth District Gaming Fund to be allocated for the Festival of the Lakes contribution for 2024, submitted for approval.
Motion,
Easy
motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter C, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 1021 Moss Street, submitted for approval.
Good morning again to the board. 1021 Moss has been there was a fire. I talked to the new owner, her name's Pearl and she was up at, I think Linda, she came up last week thinking that she was going to be able to, she's ready to post a $10,000 bond. Mr. Luter has agreed to allow her time to rehab the property. The reason I give you the new history is because I know that the chief of staff has been fielding inquiries from the neighborhood as well as some council members regarding status on this property, and we were going to proceed with a demolition of it. However, Ms. Shee has indicated that she would like to try to rehab it. Mr. Kearney may have an additional update, but I think our recommendation is going to be to allow the rehab to be approved today.
Good morning, Board.
Morning.
I had a conversation with Sal Garza from ASG Construction, who she has reached out to. His specialty is fire restorations. So I believe he's going to be the contractor on his job, and I have full confidence. He's one of our best contractors out there. So I have full confidence. If he gets hired to do the job, it'll be done correctly, quickly.
It's got a note on here for a May 8th status date. Do we want to keep that, or
That's fine.
is that what?
May I status date?
Yeah, whatever, yeah. if
It's got a note for May 8th. The expiration date is June 1st. Do we want to go closer to June 1st?
We wanted to go closer to see status.
Okay.
Yep.
May 29th?
Fine with me.
No, I'm.
Oh, you're good, you're
No,
staying.
I'm sorry, I didn't, I wasn't very clear. May 8th would be great.
Okay.
Around there, because we do want to kind of see where it's at.
Okay, gotcha.
Because we want to keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Motion to approve and set for status for May 8th of 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter D, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 4934 Ash Avenue, submitted for approval.
You should have a agreement before you.
Yes.
There should be an expiration date of around the same time.
June 6th,
Yeah, we can go close to that. If it is signed, I'd request its approval.
It is signed. You want to go with that May 29th date?
Sure.
Okay.
Motion to approve and set for status for May 29th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter E, order to rescind and release order to demolish property located at 941 Reese Avenue, submitted for approval.
Mr. Luter sent over some new photos. This has been a complete rehab, so we're happy to report that to the board and request that it be signed.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter F, order to rescind and release order to demolish property located at 5426 Wood Street, submitted for approval.
This is some catch-up by the law department. This has been rehabbed a while ago, as is the next one in Arizona, but these are just paperwork that we need to get filed with the recorder. I'd request its approval as presented. And I forgot to mention on 941 Reese, because Mr. Luter just mentioned it to me, it's now been rehabbed to a single-family home, which of course is another great success.
Yes.
Motion to approve Wood.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter G, order to rescind and release order to demolish property located at 6946 Arizona Avenue.
Yeah, you may
Submitted for approval.
recall Chris Rhodes came in. Sorry,
Oh, wait, okay, good.
did I interrupt you?
No.
I was looking down. Chris Rhodes had been here on several occasions, and you may recall this had a real bad fence in the back.
Yeah.
It's like a stucco place, so it's been rehabbed a while ago. We just have to, again, catch up on some paperwork.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter H, facility use agreement with United Neighborhoods, Inc., submitted for approval.
You and I occupy some space here at City Hall. This is the renewal of that agreement.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter I, right-of-way permits, looks like there's 9 of them received from engineering, submitted for approval.
So basically, we have a number of permits, 2 at and T permits to be, for work, one at Meets by Lentz, one the 6700 block near Kennedy Avenue. 2 for BP, one on Summer Street, it's about the 1800 block of Summer.
Yeah,
They had
1815 they have, yeah.
They had an anomaly in their pipeline that they're working to figure out how to make a repair there. That is right near the construction. It's in the concrete section of Summer, near where we're rebuilding that street. Also 1500, 175th, that's a BP work going on there. NIPSCO has 2 electric and gas installations, one 5200 block of Torrance, one 6800 block of Missouri, and then 1 gas retirement at 6735 Kennedy. Salyer Plumbing has a repair at 918 Willow Court, and Ton and Blank is asking for a parking lane restriction on State Line for the demolition of the St. Margaret's Hospital. So I'd ask for your approval. Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Letter J, disposal authorizations received from Hammond Police Department, submitted for approval.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Letter K, request for a late rental registration hearing, submitted for approval.
Motion to set that meeting for March 27th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter L, request for late business license hearing, submitted for approval.
Motion to set that for March 13th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter M, demolition hearings. Letter A, 7339 California.
Yes, good morning to the board. So just to set the record again on these were originally set for February 27th, 2025. We did not have a quorum last week. However, there was attendance on this property specifically by a Debbie, I know I'm going to get the last name wrong, it was like Mormandy. Is she here today?
Hi.
Oh.
Good morning. Sorry to interrupt. My name's Dylan Fosna. I'm standing in for Debbie Marcantonio this morning.
Okay, great. So there was a representative last week, apparently, and the reason I was going to bring that up is because we did confirm with her that they would have representation this week. It looks like Mr. Fosnacht is here on behalf of this property. Just to set the stage here for this and any other demolition hearing this morning, these properties has been identified as unsafe as defined by the Indiana Unsafe Building Act. Notice has been given pursuant to the act via certified mail, publication, and regular mail, as well as placing notice on the property. So we do want to represent to the board and for the record that the notices have been properly made. We also have photographs that we'll present to the board for evidence on these properties. We have testimony from Mr. Luter and potentially from the district inspectors. It is the city's position on each of these properties, we have 2 today, that they are unsafe under the act and the orders should be affirmed as presented. So I'm going to present the board with these, and then of course we'll allow Mr. Fosnacht to present any evidence he has or testimony as soon as we're done. These are the photographs of 7339 California. It has been vacant for some time. I'll let Mr. Luter otherwise set the situation as it relates to this property.
Yeah, I was called to that address last year before, by the police department. There were several people inside squatting. Those people were removed. Several windows were boarded up. There's been no gas, water, electric to that property for several years. And with no action over the last 2 years, it was decided that this property needed to be either repaired or demolished.
I should also note for the board that the owner is listed as Indiana Tax Auction LLC. And I want to at least show the board, I don't know if you have these photos as well. These are from last November.
Yeah, that's, we have. Yep.
So that it's the meter's been pulled and pinned, and you can see the disrepair of the garage door and how it looks on the outside. So anyway, it's our position that proper notice haven't been given, that the order be affirmed. And at that point, we would rest our case as it relates to the city and turn it over to the owner. Or I guess ask Mr. Fosnot to identify his relationship to the property.
Yes, good morning, thank you. So I work for Indiana Tax Auction as an employee. We bought the property from tax sale and have been under contract to sell it. At last, the 11th hour, the contract was terminated by the buyer. That was about 2 weeks ago, and since then we've reached out to our contractors and have garnered two rehab bids and are going to move forward if allowed.
So I guess the city's position, and here's another thing on this property, I show it as a homestead. So until anything's going to happen, we need to make sure Mr. Foxnot, and if we can get an email address for him, or we need to have the homestead removed from this immediately. I would, a lot of times in these situations, what we'll do is have the order affirmed. As the board knows, that it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks to bid the property out. During that time, Mr. Fosnot can get a hold of Mr. Luter and coordinate a rehab inspection. And hopefully that goes forward. If it does, they pay for the rehab inspection. By the time the bid comes forward to the board, hopefully have a rehab agreement in place. And I would just note to Mr. Fosnot, Mr. Luter's email address is lewterw@gohammond.com.
Okay, and just if I could please read that back to you, lewterw@gohammond.com.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and we have 6 to 8 weeks to get that rehab inspection completed and go from there.
Yeah, so you should be in contact with him. Can we have your email address, please?
Yes, it is DFASNACT@ACIAAMG.com.
I'm going to read that one back.
Yep, sorry, I'm not making it easy this morning.
Yeah, whoever did that email should be. All right. It's DFASNACHT, your name, Dylan, or D. Fosnot, at ACIAAM, as in mother, G.com.
Perfect.
Okay.
And Mr. Fosnot, just for clarification, a representative from your company will have to come down to the inspections department and pay the $150 inspection fee. And then once I have that paperwork, I can be in contact with you to set up a day and time to go through the property. And then I'll get you a rehab or inspection report as soon as possible after that.
Awesome. Very good. Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Thank
I'm
you,
just
board.
going to ask the board, the president, to if you could explain to him that the order, our request is to affirm the order.
Yeah, you understood that part, Mr. Fosnot. We're going to approve the order today, but you have that same time frame that he mentioned, 6 to 8 weeks. So get a hold of Mr. Luter as soon as possible to start the process, and we'll probably set some kind of date. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean,
45 days.
there's no date needed really, because we're going to bid it out, we're going to move forward to bid.
So all communication will go through.
Yeah, from law department's end, we're going to move forward with bidding it out. If Mr. Luter lets me know that things are progressing by the time the bids come up, then he'll let me know that and we'll enter the rehab agreement.
Okay. You understand that, Mr. Fosnot?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for being on there today.
Thank you all for your time.
Motion to affirm the order.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Moving on to letter B, 6826 through 28 Kennedy.
Come over here, because I think they're here. Marco, you here for this? Okay, yep. Come on my side. Okay, so this is 6826-28 Kennedy Avenue. I show the owner listed as Arturo Quintana. Mr. Quintana was present here last week in person. We did not have a quorum. He indicated that he would be here today. I see that Mr. Molina is probably his representative as his attorney. I can note to the board, this is the old Pioneer Restaurant in Kennedy Avenue. The roof was starting to fall apart. Water's been off since at least 2019. The gas meter's been removed. Windows were boarded up by the city in 2019, and the property's been vacant since that time. I do have some photos for the board. I thought I had them here. Let me just make sure I get them to you here. Hold on. And then I'll ask Mr. Lutert if he's got any additional information that he'd like to add.
Yes. Thank you.
In regards to this property, my first contact with the owner goes back to Thanksgiving weekend of 2023, when I was notified by another department head that work was going on a Saturday. Went there, proposed a stop work order. They were working on the roof without a permit, unlicensed contractors. Got home, got a call less than a half hour later. They were still working on the roof. They were cited, given till October 1st of last year to get a CDR filed, showing that they wanted to move forward with rehabbing the property and making it, I believe they want to open a restaurant there. And when October 1st came and no CDR was filed, the charges were dismissed and the property was put on the repair or demolish list. And as far as, and I'm sure Mr. Molina can explain more, the inspection, they did pay for that in October, but due to some health concerns I had, I wanted to personally handle that inspection. I did get it done in January. So that was my fault on the delay, and again, I apologize for that. They did file for construction design release on February 26th.
With the state.
With the state. So that could take 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months. We don't know how long it's going to take. So we really, my personal thought is we can't enter into a rehab agreement till we get that construction design release approved, because I hate to give them 90 days and they don't have the blueprint approved to move forward.
Can I ask just for my information,
Yeah.
what's the holdup? How come we don't know? How come it can be that long?
It's the state, we never know.
The state, oh, it's the state that can do what they want.
It's on somebody's desk.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
it takes a while.
And so from the city's perspective, we'd like to get the order affirmed, just because if things go downhill, either with the state or, locally, or Mr. Quintana or whatever, we have the order in place and we can move forward with the demolition if, he doesn't go forward with this project.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Molina.
Good morning. So Mr. Quintana is here present. He also has an architect from Materialized Design Services. As indicated, the plans have been sent downstate. They did hear something back. They wanted to change on the, the hood. Thank you. I was thinking of the word in Spanish. I couldn't think of it in English. That wouldn't do any good. Okay. So they have heard back. He's willing to make all the repairs listed. As Kevin indicated, this property's vacant since 2019. He bought it in late 2022, and he's ready to move forward. He is a full-time truck driver, and he's going to start a restaurant. That's his dream, and he's ready to move forward on that. I understand this is a process, and we're in the beginning of it. My concern is by his actions recently, I'm clear that he's moving forward in the right direction. Initially, there was some delay. It's not a huge justification, but unfortunately, he had an architect who started doing plans. He paid him. The guy messed around for about a year, telling him it was being taken care of, kept the money, didn't do anything. So then he's got a new architect, so he is moving forward. And given that, I would ask if the board would consider continuing this for 30 to 60 days, something to give us. My concern is if we enter the order, and I understand that's a process, it is a little bit out of our hands. He does desire to move this forward as quickly as possible, but if we're back here 90 days and it hasn't moved, I'm nervous that it's going to be set for demolition. There are definitely repairs that need to be made. I don't think there's anything that's structurally dangerous. Even Mr. Quintana has offered, if required, to do a structural report, have his engineers do that if needed. But because of his recent progress, I would ask if the board would consider to continue this hearing for a short time.
Yeah, so, obviously, we're happy that Mr. Quintana has representation now. I think that's always helpful. It sounds like he's on the right track. I can tell you that, internally, in meetings that we've been at for Kennedy Avenue, that there's been some frustration in the past about this project. I think at one point, there were unlicensed contractors on the building, and I think it was just a matter of Mr. Quintana understanding what the rules were over here. I think he's from Chicago or maybe from Illinois. And so I think that, from what I understand, he did comply and understood and pulled those guys off. So it's not a situation where we're trying to pick on Mr. Quintana. It's just that, given that it's been some time since he's bought it, that we've had some bumps along the road, it seems like when we, all of a sudden we sent the demo notice out, then guess what? The plans got downstate. So we'd like to kind of keep some pressure on the owner to comply with what needs to be done. Mr. Molina knows this just from other demolition orders that he's been involved with. The city's not going to turn around and knock the place down tomorrow. It's a process. I think having the order in place, letting Mr. Quintana know that we can stay it until at least the time of bid. There's not going to be any enforcement of that order. Hopefully that will give him some comfort. And then in the meantime, hopefully these things continue to move along. And I'm fine actually setting it for status for 30 days if you want, even before it gets bid out, if that's a desire of Mr. Molina's. But I would like the order affirmed.
No, I understand, but from my perspective, I agree with that, because we can't, if it's in the state's hands now, we don't know when they're gonna give it back. I think that'd be fair. So we give them 30 days until we do it. Is that okay?
Yeah, up to you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna affirm the order.
I'd like the order to be affirmed at a 30-day status so we can hear back.
Gotcha, okay.
And then that will be before the bid even happens.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
You understand that, Mr. Molina?
Yes.
I think that's the best we can do, and I don't know what pressure you can put on the state to help, kind of move this along maybe, but just try your best to do that if you can. So we're good then.
Okay, could we, and I don't know what the status date will be, but could we go the following week?
The 10th.
April
Mark, does
10th?
10th work for you, April 10th?
April 10th, yes, that'll work.
Okay.
A motion to affirm the order and set a status for April 10th of 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Molina.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marco.
Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, moving on, number 10, old business. Letter A, status, gas station, 4450 Calumet Avenue.
All right, Novak.
Yeah, morning. So, we investigated this further. The reason this came back up was that curb damage we had seen. So we investigated it further, and we realized that curb damage was pre-existing to the building's demolition. But we did report it to engineering department, so they're aware of it. Thanks, Dean. And basically, we're fine. We told the owner, Sunny Tijuana, not to worry about it.
So Tom, could you give us just a quick location for the boards?
Oh, sorry. So this is the west side of Calumet Avenue, just north of Gosselin Street. So that gas station, northwest corner. Yeah, it's a Citgo, I think. So it's like 44, 46, 44, 48 Calumet.
50.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they call it
Do you
themselves.
all remember what happened with the curb?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to make sure the board's.
Yeah, there was some buckling, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good to go then?
Well, did the board affirm, I don't know what the board's action was at the last meeting. Did they affirm it or not, given the year, or did we hold it?
I believe we affirmed it, but
If
that's
I-
my memory,
if I-
but I don't remember 100%.
I believe we did.
I believe we affirmed it.
Yeah, if I recall, we affirmed it, and then this was basically just like, come back and let us know what's going on, because
Yeah.
if we had issues, we'd pull them back, in front of the board.
That was my memory, but.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I believe we affirmed it, but if Linda wants to check later and just make sure.
We'll take care of
Yeah,
that.
that's fine. Thank you.
Take care of that under the sidewalk program this year.
Okay,
Yeah, it'll get fixed.
Do you want to maybe just, for the record?
yes,
reaffirm it?
absolutely,
I think it can't hurt.
absolutely. Yep.
A motion to grant the extension for Citgo at 4450 Calumet.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Letter B, status for 918 Willow Court.
Go ahead.
So as far as this project has gone, spoke with the contractor, the owner, they believe that will be done in about 45 days. As Dean stated earlier, Salyer Plumbing is doing a water service line, and that's why they got the right-of-way permit for the alley. This property started because the previous owner installed a water service line, and it caused the back of the house to cave in. They have repaired all that. They're through all their roughs, for all trades. There's no reason to believe this property won't be done within 60 days.
Okay. We need to set us, anything more
Status,
status,
please.
or 45 days
I would do
out?
45 days out. If we get done sooner, we can always rescind that status date.
17th April?
17th? Is that good, April 17th?
Yep. Motion to set the status for April 17th of 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Say all in favor.
Your
sorry.
flavor.
Letter C, status for 607 State Street.
This is Mr. Powell Garros, who's here. So you may recall, this is, Mr. Garros would like to make this into a coffee shop at some point. It's a commercial structure on State Street. He's also involved in some redevelopment in Jacob Square, so he's familiar to the city. We're just here for an update. I know that he did do some work. You may recall there was like some graffiti on the outside. He fixed that, got the windows, I think, squared away. So I'll let him give an update. We're just here to.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. Could you give us your name first?
Paul Garris, spelled P-A-W-L.
Mr. Garris, go ahead.
So on 607 State, we did the bottom portion with limestone. We did new windows. We're waiting for stucco for the weather to change. But the outside should be done within the next 45 days or so.
So if we could just maybe have a 60-day status. Is that good? Bill, you're good, comfortable with that? Yeah.
May 1st,
Yeah, maybe the following,
May
maybe
8th?
8th.
May 8th?
Motion to set for status for May 8th, 2025.
Good.
All right,
All right,
second.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you, sir. Letter D, status for 5629 Calumet Avenue.
So I don't know if anybody's present for this. Okay, great. Go right there. So 5629 Calumet, so this is, there's 5625 Calumet, which, and by the way, we're right down here, right? So that is there's a rear structure on there owned by redevelopment where there used to be. It's been knocked down. I think that JM's out there right now working. 5627 is the old Howard construction company, I think that's what's on the, and it's boarded up, looks real bad. It's starting to collapse in the front. It shares a party wall with this building. The reason we set this for status and asked that the owner or at least, is this Mr. Vargas, is that?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Vargas, to appear is because we were concerned that the progress of the rehab, because the board entered a rehab agreement with Mr. Vargas some time ago to start working on the property, that it wasn't going at a pace that was, quick enough. We do know that he installed a roof, I think, in December.
Yeah, the roof and inside we
Okay.
almost done, but they told me to hold off on the front wall because of the same.
Yeah, the
thing
front-
Going on this side and the other side, the demolition.
So we kind of want to hear from Mr. Vargas as to what the plan is, timeline, and especially what's going to happen in the front, because that's what everybody sees. Not that,
Right.
I know that he's been working on it, but we just want to, nobody can see the roof. Not that that's not great. I'm happy you did that,
Right.
but we just want to know what's going on.
The only
Mr.
concern I
Vargas,
have,
before you start, what's your first name?
Carlos.
Carlos
Vargas,
Okay,
yeah.
go ahead, sorry.
So the only concern I have is because a demo is going on in the site, and I talked to the man in charge there. They got the machine and everything there. He was telling me that they're gonna start like in a few weeks, but he said not to do the front because they're probably gonna, damage, because they both connected. So this is only my concern. I mean, I'm ready to move forward, but
So do you have a time frame in mind that'll be done?
yeah, I mean, as long as they finish the demo, I can do that in the next month or so. I mean, I don't know when they're gonna start the demolition.
Demolition has started.
So completion, you think in a week or
10
two or
days,
so?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? So he should be able to get started in 2 weeks, so then what do you think after that? How long it's gonna take you
After that, I can give me a month and I'll be finished with that.
Mr. Vargas, when did you obtain the property? Because originally we had it back in September of '24. We had it with looks like a bank maybe, ProCap 8 FBO, First Trust Bank. When did you actually get the deed to the property?
I'm not sure right now, but I was telling Bill that I'm owner of the small company.
Okay?
I wanted more like to put my tools in there.
No,
and
no, no,
stuff.
I was just asking, when did you get the property?
Oh, when?
When did you start owning it?
It was December something.
Of just last year? So you've only
Yeah.
owned it like 3 months?
Yeah, like 3 months or so.
So he's the new owner?
Okay.
Yeah, I did a lot of progress, but I can't move forward until the demolition is done.
Well, if we're thinking demolition 2 weeks, he's saying a month, are we doing 45 days or 60 days? Should we do
60?
60-day status? May 8th, you want to stay with that date?
Sure.
Okay.
And then by May 8th, Mr. Vargas, do you believe there'll be work on the front for sure?
Yeah.
Motion to set the matter for status for May 8th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, Mr. Vargas, good luck.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you
Thank
May
you very
8th.
much.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, letter E, status for 54 Mason.
54 Mason, according to Mr. Luter, can come off. We'll request an order to rescind and release next week, I believe, based on progress.
Right, the only thing left, our electrical inspector, Abel Batista, his father owns the property and is the contractor. We spoke on it. They're waiting on their company to come in to refurbish and refinish the hardwood floors. And then when the weather breaks, they're going to paint the outside brick. Because if you've seen the pictures, you'll remember that property. The exterior was covered in vines. They've removed all that, hopefully killed it all, and they plan on painting that brick. But they have to wait for the weather to get nicer.
I'll give the board some photos. And just so the board knows, the rehab hearing expired in November, but
So is there no action necessary today then? Is that
I
what
would
you're
say
saying?
there's no action necessary if we can have Kevin's office prepare an order to rescind.
we'll
for
have the
maybe
order
next
to
week.
rescind and release before you next week.
Okay,
Okay.
No action.
okay. Okay, moving on to letter F, late business license hearing for Home and Floral.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Mark Sturck from Home and Floral.
Good morning, sir. Could you tell us what happened?
I don't know what happened. You know, it was just an oversight. I can't tell you what happened. I can tell you for the last 8 years, you know, we've paid consistently. I look for the 9 years prior to that, we paid consistently. I just don't think, you know, for some reason, we didn't get the postcard.
Gotcha.
Hi.
Hi.
So he's maintained all years except for 2016 and 2017. That's what we're here for today.
And as soon as I heard about this, I did come down.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Is it you guys have a problem with that? If
Yeah,
we-
I just wanted to at least, so this is kind of a new thing for the board. Ms. Serrano is going to be appearing before the board from the controller's office. She's in charge of all business licensing. And if there's ever a request for an appeal of a late business license or a situation that she feels needs to come before the board, she's going to have it on our agenda. So you'll see more and more of her.
Okay. Does the city have any objection to waiving the late fees,
Not at all.
especially since there's been a long history of paying on time and stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay. So whatever happened those 2 years, sir, I mean, try your best to make sure that doesn't happen again.
I will. I
So,
apologize.
Yeah, we understand. Okay.
Motion to waive the late fee.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Sir, if you'd like to stay to the end of the meeting, you can pay that today if you'd like.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Thank you.
Okay, number 11, letter A, late rental registration hearing for 946 Murray.
This is the same owner for all 4 addresses. I believe she's on Zoom, Miss Aurora.
Yeah.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Roy. Can you tell us what happened?
It must have been an oversight on my end. I normally pay it every year, so when I went into the office about a month ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago, I was aware that I didn't pay it, but I've always paid the rental fee for those properties.
So for 946, this is a single-family home. The only previous action for this property was before the board in 2022, where the late fee was waived for 21 and 22 of that year. And then in, let's see, 952 Murray, the property was registered on time, 22 and 23. So we're here for 24. Took over ownership 6/1 of 22 for that address. 965 Murray, first registered in 2023, and then we're here for 24, a single-family home. And then 3042 Kenwood, owner since 8/2/23, and this is the first time the property is being registered. We're here for 23 and 24 for that address. There is some history of the water department showing that when Ms. Aurora took over ownership, there was occupancy in 23, which is why we're here for the 2 years.
I'm sorry, Nick, the one, which one was it that we had issue with in 21 and 22?
That was the first address, so that would be 946 Murray, single-family home, appeared on 8/11/22. The board waived the late fee for 21 and 22 at that time for that address, 946 Murray.
Yeah. I think for that one. Ms. Aurora, we understand that sometimes you forget about stuff or it gets misplaced, but 946 Murray, the fees were waived for 2 years back, a couple of years ago, actually. So I think we're inclined to impose the late fee for that property, and we're going to waive the late fee for the other 3. But you're going to have to make sure that this doesn't happen again, because we'll probably enforce the late fees for all properties if it happens again.
Okay, understood.
Okay.
Okay, motion to assess the late fee for 946 Murray for, what was it, 2024?
Yes.
2024, and waive the late fees for the 3 other properties.
And I second.
And then how long does she have after today?
I should have 30 days from today to pay him, unless you would prefer, we could forward the decisions to Kevin Smith's office for negotiation of a settlement, or a payment arrangement if she'd like.
I'll be in there next week to pay it.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
All
you.
in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, moving on to meetings now open to the public. Anybody have anything they want to say? Okay.
No one took any Schaffroden today, so that was great. Okay. Motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say